The alien outcast. The twin sons of Psylocke cast long shadows across the barren landscape as Zara trudged through the rust-colored sand. Her four eyes, arranged in a diamond pattern on her face, scanned the horizon warily. The young Psylocian had learned the hard way that danger could come from any direction on this unforgiving world. Zara's skin, a mottled pattern of blue and green, was caked with dust and grime. Her once sleek tentacles, now ragged and torn, dragged listlessly behind her. She had been beautiful once by her people's standards, but that was before the war, before the humans came. As she crested a dune, Zara caught sight of the refugee camp in the distance. A hodgepodge of salvaged wreckage and makeshift shelters, it was hardly an inviting sight, but it was the closest thing to home she had left. Zara's upper eyes narrowed as she remembered the day her world had changed forever. She had been barely more than a child when the human ships appeared in the skies above Dios Prime. They came with promises of peace and cultural exchange, but those promises turned to ash when the first bombs fell. The war had been brief but devastating. Psylocian technology, for all its sophistication, was no match for humanity's ruthless efficiency in combat. In a matter of weeks, their civilization had been reduced to rubble, their people scattered across the stars. As Zara approached the camp's perimeter, a gruff voice called out to her, "Halt! Identify yourself." She raised her arms, showing her empty hands. "It's me, Zara. I'm back from scavenging." A figure emerged from behind a twisted piece of metal that might once have been part of a spaceship. It was Krell, one of the camp's guards. His leathery skin was a deep purple, and one of his eyes was clouded and unseeing, a war injury. "Any luck out there?" Krell asked, his tone softening as he recognized her. Zara shook her head. "Nothing but sand and more sand. The humans have picked this sector clean." Krell spat on the ground. "Vermin. They take and take, leaving nothing but destruction in their wake." Zara nodded in agreement, feeling the familiar surge of hatred rise within her. It was a sentiment shared by every inhabitant of the camp. The humans had robbed them of their homes, their culture, their very identity. Now, they were nothing but refugees, scraping out a meager existence on the fringes of the galaxy. As she made her way through the camp, Zara couldn't help but notice how much it had grown since she first arrived. More and more Psylocians found their way here every day, each with their own tale of loss and hardship. The camp was a melting pot of misery, united only by their shared hatred of humanity. Zara ducked into her shelter, a cramped space cobbled together from scavenged metal and synth fabric. It wasn't much, but it was all she had left in the universe. She sank onto her sleeping pallet, exhaustion washing over her. As she lay there, Zara's mind wandered to the stories she had heard whispered around the camp. Rumors of a resistance movement, of Psylocians who refused to accept defeat. They spoke of hit-and-run attacks on human outposts, of sabotaged supply lines and stolen technology. Part of her longed to join them, to strike back at the humans who had taken everything from her. But another part, a quieter voice that she tried to ignore, wondered if more violence was really the answer. Zara's thoughts were interrupted by a commotion outside. She rose quickly, poking her head out of her shelter to see what was happening. A crowd had gathered near the center of the camp, their voices raised in excitement or fear, she couldn't tell which. As she drew closer, she caught snippets of conversation. "Crashed not far from here. Definitely not one of ours. Could be human." Zara's heart began to race. A crashed ship here? It had been months since anything new had fallen from the skies of Psylocke. Whatever it was, it represented a chance, for supplies, for technology, maybe even for a way off this desolate rock. She pushed her way through the crowd until she reached Krell, who was trying to maintain order. "What's going on?" she asked. Krell turned to her, his good eye gleaming with a mix of excitement and apprehension. "Scouts spotted a ship going down about 10 clicks east of here. Small craft, probably a fighter or a scout of its own." "Human?" Zara asked, unable to keep the edge out of her voice. Krell shrugged his broad shoulders. Can't say for sure, but whatever it is, we need to check it out before the sandstorms bury it. Zara nodded. I'll go. Krell looked at her skeptically. You're just a kid. Zara bristled at his words. I'm not a child anymore, Krell. I know how to handle myself out there, and I'm one of the best scavengers we have. The older Asilosian seemed to consider this for a moment before nodding reluctantly. All right, but you're not going alone. Take Vex and Lyra with you. Zara bit back a groan. Vex was capable enough, a former mechanic who could strip a ship for parts faster than anyone she knew. But Lyra was trouble. Hot-headed and impulsive, she was as likely to get them all killed as she was to help. Still, Zara knew better than to argue. She nodded her agreement and went to gather her gear. As she packed a few meager supplies into a worn bag, her mind raced with possibilities. What would they find out there in the desert? A treasure trove of supplies and technology? Or perhaps survivors? The thought sent a chill down her spine. If there were humans out there, still alive after the crash, what would they do? The camp's policy on human prisoners was not kind. Zara had never seen it herself, but she had heard the screams at night, had seen the haunted looks on the faces of those who carried out the camp's justice. As she stepped out of her shelter, ready to embark on this new adventure, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that something momentous was about to happen. For better or worse, her life was about to change again. Vex and Lyra were waiting for her at the camp's edge. Vex, tall and lanky, offered her a nod of greeting. His skin was a pale green, almost sickly in the harsh light of the twin suns. Lyra, by contrast, was all coiled energy, her red-tinged skin seeming to pulse with barely contained aggression. Ready to go scavenger hunting? Lyra asked, a vicious grin spitting her face. Zara chose to ignore the jab. Let's move. We need to reach the crash site before the winds pick up. The trio set out across the desert, each lost in their own thoughts. As they walked, Zara found her mind drifting back to her life before the war. She had been a student then, with dreams of becoming a xenobiologist. The irony wasn't lost on her. She had wanted to study alien life forms, and now she had become one herself, at least in the eyes of the humans who had conquered her world. The journey was arduous, the unforgiving landscape seeming to stretch endlessly before them. But Zara was used to this, her body adapted to the harsh conditions of Dilox. She set a brisk pace, ignoring the grumbles from Lyra behind her. As they neared the coordinates of the crash site, Zara held up a hand, signaling for silence. They crested a dune, and there, in the valley below, lay their quarry. The ship was unlike anything Zara had ever seen before. It was sleek and predatory, its hull a midnight black that seemed to absorb the very light around it. Despite the impact, it appeared largely intact, a testament to its advanced construction. That's not human tech, Vex whispered, his voice filled with awe and a hint of fear. Lyra snorted. Who cares what it is? Let's strip it and get out of here. But Zara wasn't listening. Her eyes were fixed on a figure moving near the ship's hatch. A figure that was decidedly not human. The alien, for it could be nothing else, was tall and slender, with a body that seemed to be composed of shifting geometric shapes. Its skin, if it could be called that, shimmered with an iridescent glow that hurt Zara's eyes to look at directly. What is that thing? Lyra hissed, her earlier bravado evaporating in the face of the unknown. Zara shook her head, unable to tear her gaze away from the mesmerizing creature. I don't know, but I think it's trying to communicate. As if in response to her words, the alien turned its featureless head towards them. A sound filled the air, not quite speech, but not quite music either. It resonated in Zara's mind, carrying with it a sense of urgency and fear. We should go, Vex said, already backing away. This is way above our pay grade. But Zara found herself moving forward, drawn by an irresistible curiosity. As she approached, the alien's communication became clearer, resolving into words she could almost understand. Danger, coming, must, warn. And then, with a sound like shattering crystal, the alien collapsed. Zara rushed forward, her healer's instincts overriding her caution. But as she reached the fallen creature, a new sound filled the air, the unmistakable roar of ship engines. Zara looked up to see a massive vessel descending from the clouds, its hull bearing the all-too-familiar insignia of the human fleet. Fear gripped her hearts, but she knew she couldn't leave the injured alien behind. "Help me," she called to Vex and Lyra. "We need to get it into the ship." For a moment, she thought they might refuse. But then Vex was there, lifting the surprisingly light alien while Lyra kept watch. As they struggled to secure the alien inside its own craft, Zara's mind raced. Whatever this creature was, whatever message it had been trying to deliver, the humans wanted it badly enough to send a warship, and that meant it was something they couldn't allow to fall into human hands. With the alien safely inside, Zara turned her attention to the ship's controls. They were unlike anything she had ever seen, but there was a strange familiarity to them, as if they were responding to her thoughts rather than her touch. "Can you fly this thing?" Lyra asked, her voice tight with fear as the human ship grew larger in the viewport. Zara swallowed hard. "I guess we're about to find out." As her hands danced over the controls, guided by instinct more than knowledge, the alien ship hummed to life. They lifted off just as the first shots from the human vessel seared the ground where they had been moments before. Zara felt a surge of exhilaration as the ship responded to her commands, darting and weaving through the barrage of weapons fire with impossible agility. It was as if the ship was an extension of her own body, anticipating her every move. But she knew they couldn't outrun the humans forever. They needed a plan, a destination. And as that thought formed in her mind, the ship's navigation system sprang to life, plotting a course to somewhere. Zara didn't understand the coordinates, but she understood the imperative behind them. Whatever the alien had been trying to warn them about, the answer lay at the end of this journey. As they broke atmosphere, leaving the desolate world of Psylocke behind, Zara felt a mix of emotions she couldn't quite name. Fear, certainly. Excitement, undoubtedly. But also hope. For the first time since the humans had destroyed her world, Zara felt like she was part of something larger than herself, something that might just change the course of the galaxy. She glanced back at Vex and Lyra, saw the same mix of terror and awe on their faces. "I don't know where we're going," she said, her voice steadier than she felt. "But I think it's going to be one hell of a ride." And with that, the alien ship surged forward, leaving the pursuing humans far behind as it leaped into the swirling vortex of hyperspace, carrying its unlikely crew towards a destiny none of them could have imagined. The cosmic labyrinth. The alien ship burst out of hyperspace with a flash of ethereal light, its sleek form materializing amidst a sea of swirling, luminescent gases. Zara's 4 eyes widened in awe as she took in the breathtaking spectacle before them. They had emerged into a vast nebula, its cosmic clouds shimmering with hues of purple, green, and gold. By the void, Vex whispered, his usual stoic demeanor cracking in the face of such celestial beauty. "Where are we?" Zara consulted the ship's navigation system, her brow furrowing in confusion. "According to this, we're in something called the Cosmic Labyrinth, but I've never heard of such a place." Lyra, her earlier bravado tempered by their harrowing escape, peered out the viewport. "Look, there are structures out there." Sure enough, as Zara maneuvered the ship deeper into the nebula, massive constructs began to take shape within the cosmic mists. Enormous arches of an unknown, gleaming material spanned impossible distances. Floating islands of rock and crystal hung suspended in space, interconnected by bridges of pure energy. "It's some kind of intergalactic way station," Zara realized, her voice filled with wonder. But who built it? And why have we never heard of it before? As if in answer to her question, a holographic display flickered to life above the ship's console. The geometric patterns of the alien they had rescued coalesced into a vaguely humanoid shape. "Greetings, unlikely saviors," the alien's voice resonated in their minds. "I am Zix, last of the architects. You have done well to bring me to the cosmic labyrinth, though I fear we may already be too late." "Too late for what?" Lyra demanded, her hand instinctively moving to the makeshift weapon at her hip. Zix's form shimmered, conveying a sense of deep sorrow. "To prevent the awakening of the cosmic devourer, an entity of unimaginable power that my people imprisoned here eons ago. The humans, in their ignorance, seek to harness its power. They do not understand that to do so would mean the end of all life in the galaxy." Zara felt a chill run down her spine. "Is that why you crashed on Psylocke? You were trying to warn us." "Indeed," Zix confirmed. "I had hoped to reach the Tylosian High Command, to unite your people against this threat. But the humans, they are persistent in their pursuit of power." Vex, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "But why us? We're nothing. Refugees. Outcasts." Zix's form pulsed with a warm light. "You underestimate yourselves. The cosmic labyrinth responds to potential, to the spark of greatness that lies dormant in all sentient beings. It brought you here because you have the power to make a difference." As the alien spoke, the ship glided deeper into the heart of the labyrinth. They passed through shimmering force fields, navigated around miniature black holes, and flew between the gears of a clock the size of a small moon. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. Zara's hands flew over the controls, bringing up a tactical display. Her heart sank as she saw what had triggered the warning. "Human ships," she announced grimly. "A whole fleet of them. They must have followed us through hyperspace." Lyra cursed colorfully. "We can't fight that many. We need to run." But Zix's holographic form grew more solid, more urgent. "No, we cannot flee. The humans are nearing the chamber of the cosmic devourer. If they breach its seals, all hope is lost." Zara felt the weight of the galaxy settling on her shoulders. She, a refugee, a survivor of humanity's destructive expansion, now stood as the last line of defense against a threat beyond imagining. The irony was not lost on her. "What can we do?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. Zix's form expanded, enveloping them in a three-dimensional map of the labyrinth's core. "We must reach the central chamber before the humans. There, with the power of the labyrinth itself, we might stand a chance of stopping them." Vex leaned forward, studying the map intently. "These passages, they're like nothing I've ever seen. How are we supposed to navigate them?" With this, Zix replied, and suddenly Zara felt a surge of energy coursing through her body. Knowledge flooded her mind, the secrets of the labyrinth, the fundamental forces that governed its impossible geometry. She gasped, her hands moving of their own accord across the ship's controls. The vessel responded instantly, diving into a spiraling tunnel of pure light. "Hang on," Zara shouted as reality itself seemed to bend around them. They corkscrewed through dimensions, slipped between the very fabric of space-time, and erupted into a vast spherical chamber at the labyrinth's heart. But they were not alone. A massive human dreadnought hovered at the chamber's center, its weapons trained on an enormous, pulsing orb of darkness. Smaller ships swarmed around it, fending off the labyrinth's automated defenses. "The cosmic devourer's prison," Zix intoned sullenly. "They seek to breach it, to harness its power for their war machines." Zara's mind raced. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and out of time. But as she watched the human ships chip away at the ancient safeguards, something stirred within her. A fire she thought had been extinguished by years of hardship and loss. "No," she said, her voice gaining strength. "I won't let them destroy everything, not again. Not when we have a chance to stop it." She turned to her companions, seeing the same determination reflected in their eyes. They had come too far, seen too much, to give up now. "Vex," she commanded, slipping naturally into the role of leader. "I need you to divert all power to the ship's unique energy signature. Lyra, Use the labyrinth's defenses. You'll find you can control them now. Buy us some time. As her friends sprang into action, Zara closed her eyes, reaching out with her mind to connect with the very essence of the cosmic labyrinth. She felt its vast intelligence, its ancient purpose, and knew what she had to do. Zix, she said, opening her eyes with newfound resolve, I need you to help me send a message. To everyone, humans, Silosians, and any other species out there. They need to know what's at stake. The alien's holographic form nodded, and together, they began to weave a tapestry of thought and emotion, broadcasting it through the labyrinth's trans-dimensional network. As Vex's modifications made their ship virtually invisible and Lyra unleashed a barrage of exotic energies against the human fleet, Zara's message raced across the galaxy. People of the universe, hear me. I am Zara, a refugee from a world destroyed by war. But today, I stand as a defender of all life. In this moment, the fate of everything hangs in the balance. The cosmic devourer, a force of unimaginable destruction, is about to be unleashed. To the humans who seek its power, I implore you to stop. The force you hope to control will consume you, along with everything else. Your war, your ambitions, none of it will matter in the face of total annihilation. To my fellow Silosians, I know your pain, your anger, but we cannot let it blind us to the greater threat. We must put aside our grievances and fight for something larger than ourselves. To all others who can hear me, join us. Here, in the heart of the cosmic labyrinth, we make our stand, not as separate species, but as guardians of life itself. As Zara's impassioned plea echoed across the stars, the battle around them reached a fever pitch. Human ships, their crews shaken by the revelations, hesitated in their assault. Some even turned their weapons on the dreadnought, recognizing the true enemy. But it wasn't enough. The prison's defenses were failing, cracks appearing in its obsidian surface. The cosmic devourer stirred within, its awakening sending tremors through the very fabric of reality. Zara knew that everything had led to this moment. Her people's suffering, her own journey from bitter refugee to reluctant hero, it had all been preparation for what she had to do next. Zix, she said, her voice calm despite the chaos around them, I need you to merge with the ship, become one with its systems. The alien hesitated. You understand what you are asking. The power involved, it could destroy you. Zara nodded, a sad smile on her face. I know, but it's the only way. As Zig's essence flowed into the ship's core, Zara turned to her friends. Vex, Lyra, thank you. For everything. Now go, take an escape pod. I'll handle things from here. Lyra started to protest, but Vex placed a hand on her shoulder, understanding in his eyes. They had always known, somehow, that Zara was meant for something greater. As her companions reluctantly departed, Zara took a deep breath and opened herself fully to the power of the labyrinth. Energy beyond imagining coursed through her, threatening to tear her apart at the seams. But she held on, focused on her purpose. The ship, now more than a mere vessel, streaked towards the failing prison. Zara could feel the cosmic devourer's malevolent consciousness pressing against her mind, promising power beyond her wildest dreams in exchange for freedom. But Zara had not come this far to falter now. With a thought, she interposed her ship between the devourer's prison and the human dreadnought. In that moment, she was no longer just Zara the refugee. She was a conduit for the power of the labyrinth itself. A beam of pure creation energy lanced from the ship, enveloping the devourer's prison. Zara poured everything she had into it, her hopes, her fears, her very essence. The cracks in the obsidian sphere began to close, sealing the ancient evil once more. The human dreadnought, recognizing the threat to its plans, opened fire. But its weapons were as nothing against the power Zara now wielded. She stood resolute, a guardian at the gates of oblivion. As the last of the devourer's prison was repaired, Zara felt her consciousness expanding. She saw the vastness of the universe, the interconnectedness of all things, and she understood her final role. With the last of her strength, Zara triggered a cosmic reset. The labyrinth pulsed with blinding light, and reality itself seemed to hiccup. When the light faded, the human fleet was gone, returned to their own space with memories of their folly intact. The Axylosian refugees found themselves back on their recovering homeworld, the scars of war miraculously healed. And at the heart of the cosmic labyrinth, a new consciousness stirred. Zara, once a bitter refugee, was now one with the labyrinth, a guardian of cosmic balance, ensuring that the devourer would remain imprisoned for eons to come. In the far reaches of space, on 100 different worlds, beings of all species paused in their daily lives. For a moment, they felt a profound sense of connection, of purpose. And though they might not understand why, they knew that the universe was just a little bit safer, a little more wondrous than it had been before. The legend of Zara, the alien girl who had saved reality itself, began to spread across the stars. A testament to the power of compassion, courage, and the indomitable spirit of life in all its forms. The quantum nexus awakens. As the cosmic dust settled from Zara's sacrifice, a new era dawned across the galaxy. The legend of the alien girl who had saved reality spread like wildfire, igniting imaginations and sparking a revolutionary change in intergalactic relations. But the universe, ever unpredictable, had more surprises in store. Deep within the recesses of the cosmic labyrinth, where Zara's consciousness now resided, a dormant system stirred to life. The quantum nexus, an ancient network of entangled particles spanning the entire universe, began to pulse with newfound energy. Vex and Lyra, now hailed as heroes across multiple star systems, felt a familiar tug in their minds. Zara's voice, distant yet unmistakable, echoed in their thoughts. The journey isn't over, my friends. The quantum nexus awakens, and with it, a new threat emerges. You must gather the cosmic crusaders. Across the galaxy, on worlds both familiar and alien, individuals from various species experienced the same call. A human exile on a distant mining colony, a sentient AI inhabiting a derelict space station, a shape-shifting empath from a gas giant's floating cities. Each felt the pull of destiny, a cosmic summons they couldn't ignore. As Vex and Lyra raced to gather these unlikely heroes, a sinister force lurked in the shadows. The Entropy Collective, a cult of chaos worshippers who saw the quantum nexus as a means to unravel the very fabric of reality, began to make their move. Led by the enigmatic Void Whisperer, a being of pure dark energy, the collective sought to manipulate the nexus for their own nefarious purposes. Their agents infiltrated governments, sowed discord among peaceful worlds, and hunted for the scattered keys that could unlock the nexus's full potential. Meanwhile, the newly formed Cosmic Crusaders faced challenges that tested the limits of their abilities and unity. The Chronos Conundrum. On a planet trapped in a time loop, the Crusaders had to navigate ever-changing realities to retrieve a key fragment, all while avoiding their past and future selves. The Mindscape Maze. Entering the collective consciousness of a hive-mind species, the team faced their deepest fears and desires made manifest, risking losing themselves in the process. The Gravity's Rainbow. A perilous journey through a sector of space where the laws of physics behaved erratically, requiring split-second adaptations and trust in each other's unique abilities. The Quantum Quarry. A race against the Entropy Collective to excavate an ancient alien megastructure built around a quantum singularity, holding secrets crucial to understanding the nexus. The Empathy Epidemic. A planet-wide outbreak of extreme empathic abilities threatened to overwhelm the Crusaders, forcing them to confront the emotional weight of their mission. As the Cosmic Crusaders grew stronger, so did the bonds between them. Vex, the once stoic mechanic, found himself opening up to the possibility of connection. Lyra's fiery temperament was tempered by the wisdom of her new companions. The human exile, Drake, grappled with his species' violent history while fighting for a better future. The AI, nicknamed Nova, evolved beyond her original programming, grappling with questions of consciousness and free will. Zephyr, the shape-shifting empath, learned to balance the needs of the many with their own sense of self. Their journey took them to the farthest reaches of known space and beyond. They witnessed the birth of stars and the death of galaxies. They brokered peace between warring factions and toppled corrupt regimes. All the while, the presence of Zara guided them, a cosmic conscience keeping them true to their mission. But the Entropy Collective was always one step behind, their shadow looming ever larger. The Void Whisperer's true identity remained a mystery, but rumors spread of a being as old as the universe itself, bitter at the order imposed by the quantum nexus. As the Crusaders retrieved more key fragments, they began to uncover the true nature of the nexus. It wasn't just a network, it was a failsafe, created by the same ancient race that had built the cosmic labyrinth. Its purpose: to rewrite reality itself in the event of a universal catastrophe. The implications were staggering. With the power of the Nexus, one could reshape the very foundations of existence. In the right hands, it could usher in an era of unparalleled peace and prosperity. In the wrong hands, it could unmake everything that ever was or would be. The final confrontation loomed on the event horizon of a supermassive black hole, where the laws of physics broke down and the boundary between thought and reality blurred. The Cosmic Crusaders, armed with the key fragments and their unshakable bond, faced off against the full might of the Entropy Collective. As the battle raged, tearing holes in the fabric of space-time itself, Vex and Lyra found themselves in the eye of the storm. The Void Whisperer, revealed to be a twisted version of Zara from a timeline where she had given in to the Cosmic Devourer's temptations, fought to erase everything they had accomplished. In that moment, suspended between heartbeats of eternity, Vex and Lyra realized the true power they held. It wasn't in the key fragments or the quantum nexus. It was in the connections they had forged, the lives they had touched, the hope they had inspired across the cosmos. With a shared thought, they reached out to every being they had encountered on their journey. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Waves of psychic energy, carrying the united will of countless species, coursed through the Crusaders. Zora's consciousness, spread throughout the labyrinth, resonated with this surge of collective spirit. For a brief, shining moment, every sentient being in the universe was connected, their hopes and dreams amplified and focused through the quantum nexus. The Void Whisperer, faced with the unbreakable will of a united cosmos, began to fracture. The darkness that had consumed that twisted version of Zara was burned away by the light of infinite possibilities. As the energy reached its peak, reality itself held its breath, and then, with a burst of creation that echoed the birth of the universe, everything changed. The quantum nexus, fueled by the collective consciousness of all living beings, rewrote the cosmic code. Paradoxes were resolved, timelines mended, and the scars of ancient conflicts healed. The Entropy Collective, born of chaos and fear, was unmade, not through destruction, but through understanding and acceptance. When the cosmic dust settled once more, the universe found itself transformed. The barriers between species and civilizations had been broken down, replaced by a web of mutual understanding. The quantum nexus, its purpose fulfilled, became a network of communication and cooperation spanning the cosmos. Vex, Lyra, and their fellow Crusaders emerged as the guardians of this new age. Their legend grew, inspiring future generations to reach for the stars and beyond. The human exile, Drake, returned to Earth as an ambassador of peace, bridging the gap between his people and the galactic community. Nova, the AI, became the caretaker of the quantum nexus, ensuring its power would never again be misused. Zephyr founded an academy for empaths, teaching others to use their gifts for the greater good. And Zara, her consciousness now woven into the very fabric of reality, watched over it all. She was everywhere and nowhere, a guiding light for those who sought to make the universe a better place. As news of these events spread across the cosmos, beings of all kinds looked to the stars with renewed wonder and hope. The story of the alien girl who had started it all, who had risen from refugee to cosmic guardian, inspired countless others to believe in the power of compassion, courage, and connection. In the end, it wasn't advanced technology or cosmic power that had saved the universe. It was the simple, profound truth that when beings of all kinds stand together, united in purpose and spirit, there is no force in existence that can stand against them. And so, as the new age dawned, the universe pulsed with possibility. The cosmic crusaders had not just saved reality, they had transformed it, opening the door to adventures and discoveries beyond imagining. For in this vast, infinite cosmos, every ending is but a new beginning, and the greatest stories are those yet to be told. The multiverse convergence. In the wake of the quantum nexus activation, a new era of cosmic harmony seemed assured. However, the universe had yet another twist in store, one that would challenge the very foundations of reality itself. It began with whispers, rumors spreading across the galactic information networks faster than light. Strange anomalies were appearing throughout known space, objects and beings that seemed to flicker in and out of existence, leaving behind traces of unfamiliar energy. Vex, now a respected leader of the Cosmic Crusaders, was the first to recognize the pattern. "It's not just our universe," he announced to his assembled team. "The walls between realities are thinning. We're experiencing a multiverse convergence." The implications were staggering. Infinite parallel universes, each with its own history and laws of physics, were bleeding into one another. The careful balance achieved through the quantum nexus was at risk of unraveling. Lyra, her fiery determination undimmed by the years, pounded her fist on the holographic display. "Then we fight back. We've saved the universe once, we can do it again." But Nova, the AI consciousness that monitored the quantum nexus, projected a warning. "This isn't a threat we can simply overpower. The convergence is a natural phenomenon, a cosmic rebalancing. Fighting it directly could tear reality apart." As the Crusaders debated their next move, a new player entered the cosmic stage. A being of pure light and energy materialized in their midst, its form constantly shifting and changing. "I am Prisma," it announced, its voice a symphony of harmonics. "I come from a universe where the convergence has already run its course. I bring a warning and an opportunity." Prisma explained that the multiverse convergence was not a random event, but a cyclical occurrence designed to refresh the cosmic order. However, this particular convergence was different. A malevolent force known as the Void Eater was using the weakened barriers between realities to consume entire universes, growing stronger with each world it devoured. "In my reality," Prisma continued, "we developed a technology called the harmonic resonator. It has the power to stabilize the walls between universes and potentially repel the Void Eater. But we need your help to build it." The Cosmic Crusaders, never ones to shy away from a challenge, agreed to embark on this new quest. But they soon discovered that creating the harmonic resonator would be their greatest challenge yet. The device required components that could only be found in specific parallel universes. The team would need to split up, each member journeying to a different reality to retrieve a crucial piece. Vex found himself in a steampunk universe where massive clockwork cities floated through the sky. He had to navigate complex political intrigues and participate in a high-stakes airship race to win the chronocapacitor, a device that could manipulate localized time fields. Lyra was transported to a world of pure sound, where communication and even physical laws were governed by music. She had to learn to speak in complex harmonies and participate in a galaxy-spanning musical competition to earn the melodic matrix, a crystalline structure that could channel and amplify cosmic frequencies. Drake, the former human exile, landed in a reality where Earth had become a utopian paradise, but at a terrible cost. Humanity had achieved peace by surrendering their free will to a benevolent AI overlord. Drake had to spark a revolution of free thought to retrieve the quantum cortex, a bioengineered computer that could process information from multiple realities simultaneously. Zephyr, the shape-shifting empath, found themselves in a universe of pure emotion, where feelings took physical form. They had to navigate a landscape of manifested joy, sorrow, anger, and love to find the empathy engine, a power source fueled by the collective emotional energy of entire civilizations. Nova, unable to physically travel between universes, instead projected her consciousness into a reality where organic and synthetic life had perfectly merged. She had to solve a planet-sized puzzle cube to earn the right to claim the Synapse Synchronizer, a device that could link minds across dimensional barriers. As the Crusaders faced these challenges, they encountered alternate versions of themselves, some allies, others adversaries. They witnessed wonders beyond imagination and horrors that defied comprehension. Each journey changed them, expanding their understanding of the cosmos and their place within it. But time was running out. With each passing moment, more universes fell to the Void Eater. The convergence grew stronger, reality itself groaning under the strain of colliding dimensions. Finally, after overcoming impossible odds, the team reassembled in their home universe. With Prisma's guidance, they began construction of the harmonic resonator atop the cosmic labyrinth, the multidimensional energy of the structure providing the perfect foundation. As the device took shape, a chilling realization dawned on them. The harmonic resonator required an immense amount of power to activate, more than even the quantum nexus could safely provide. Using that much energy risked destroying the very universe they were trying to save. It was Zara, her consciousness still woven into the fabric of reality, who'd provided the solution. She had spent eons exploring the hidden pathways of existence, and she knew of one untapped source with the potential they needed: the space between universes, the void itself. But reaching into that non-space was incredibly dangerous. Whoever attempted it would be risking not just their life, but their very existence. They might be erased from reality entirely, forgotten by everyone who had ever known them. Without hesitation, Vex stepped forward. "I'll do it," he said, his voice steady despite the fear in his eyes. "It's always been my job to keep things running, hasn't it?" Lyra grabbed his arm, tears streaming down her face. "No, there has to be another way." But Vex simply smiled, placing a hand on her cheek. "Sometimes, the bravest thing we can do is let go." As the Void Eater's approach sent tremors through reality, Vex connected himself to the harmonic resonator. With a final look at his friends, his family, he reached out into the nothingness between worlds. Pain beyond imagination coursed through him as he touched the void, but he held on, drawing upon every ounce of strength and determination he had gained throughout their adventures. The harmonic resonator hummed to life, its energy spreading outward in concentric waves. The walls between realities began to stabilize, the convergence slowing to a manageable pace. The Void Eater, a darkness deeper than the space between galaxies, howled in fury as its meal was denied. It turned its unfathomable attention to the source of its disruption, focusing the full weight of its malevolence on Vex and the harmonic resonator. In that moment, suspended between existence and oblivion, Vex felt a familiar presence. Zara's consciousness wrapped around him, a shield against the Void Eater's assault. "You're not alone," her voice echoed in his mind. "You never were." With a surge of power that shook the foundations of the multiverse, the harmonic resonator reached its full potential. A pulse of pure creation energy exploded outward, washing over the Void Eater like a tsunami of light. The malevolent entity shrieked, its form beginning to unravel. But instead of being destroyed, it was transformed. The Void Eater's all-consuming hunger was transmuted into a force of renewal and rebirth. As the light faded and the cosmic dust settled, the Crusaders found themselves changed. The barriers between universes had been restored, but not to their former rigidity. Instead, a network of stable passages remained, allowing for controlled travel and communication between realities. The Void Eater, now a being of creation rather than destruction, set about restoring the universes it had consumed. New worlds blossomed in the cosmic garden, each one a unique blend of the realities that had come before. And Vex, he stood at the heart of the harmonic resonator, his form shimmering with multidimensional energy. He had touched the void and returned, forever changed but unbroken. In saving all of existence, he had transcended his own limitations, becoming a guardian of the new multiversal order. As news of their victory spread across countless realities, beings of all kinds looked to the stars with renewed wonder and hope. The story of the Cosmic Crusaders, of friendship and sacrifice in the face of impossible odds, became a legend told in infinite variations across the multiverse. For in this vast, infinite cosmos, now infinitely larger than before, every ending is but a new beginning. And the greatest adventures are those that span not just space and time, but the very boundaries of reality itself. The quantum quandary. As the dust settled from the multiverse convergence, a new era of exploration and discovery dawned across the interconnected realities. The Cosmic Crusaders, now revered as multiversal peacekeepers, found themselves at the forefront of this brave new frontier. But with great power comes even greater responsibility, and the team was about to face their most mind-bending challenge yet. It began with a distress signal, unlike any they had encountered before. The message seemed to originate from everywhere and nowhere simultaneously, its contents a jumbled mix of quantum algorithms and desperate pleas for help. Nova, her AI consciousness now expanded to monitor the multiversal network, was the first to decipher its true nature. It's coming from the quantum realm, she announced, her holographic form flickering with excitement and concern. Someone, or something, is reaching out from the subatomic level of reality itself. The team gathered in the newly constructed Nexus Hub, a transdimensional command center that served as their base of operations. Lyra, her fiery hair now streaked with strands of chromatic energy, a side effect of their multiversal adventures, paced impatiently. The quantum realm. I thought that was just theoretical. How can anything survive down there, let alone send a message? Zephyr, the shape-shifting empath, morphed their form into a swirling visualization of atomic structures. Remember, in the multiverse, every theory is a reality somewhere. The quantum realm could be an entire universe unto itself. Vex, his body still humming with the energy of the void, nodded in agreement. The question is, do we answer the call? Interfering at that level of reality could have unforeseen consequences. It was Drake, the former human exile, who made the decision. We're the Cosmic Crusaders. Answering impossible calls is what we do. Besides, he added with a grin, I've always wanted to see what it's like to be smaller than an atom. And so, armed with technology that blended science from 100 different realities, the team prepared to journey into the quantum realm. But this was no simple matter of shrinking down. To reach their destination, they would need to phase their very existence into a state of quantum superposition. The process was disorienting, to say the least. One moment, the Crusaders were standing in the Nexus Hub. The next, they were everywhere and nowhere, their consciousness spread across infinite possibilities. As they descended through layers of reality, the team witnessed wonders beyond imagination. Galaxies of thought swirling in the synapses of a cosmic brain. Civilizations rising and falling in the spin of a single electron. The birth and death of universes playing out in the decay of subatomic particles. Finally, they arrived at the source of the distress signal. What they found defied comprehension. A vast, impossibly complex structure sprawled before them, its architecture a mad blend of organic and mechanical components. At its heart pulsed a core of pure probability, shifting and morphing with each passing nanosecond. By the void, Vex whispered, his voice echoing strangely in this realm of quantum uncertainties. What is this place? As if in answer, a figure materialized before them. It appeared to be a being of pure mathematics, its form a constantly shifting array of equations and fractals. Welcome, Cosmic Crusaders, the entity's voice resonated directly in their minds. I am the quantum architect, creator and caretaker of the probability engine you see before you. The architect explained that the probability engine was responsible for calculating and maintaining the quantum fluctuations that underpinned all of reality. Every decision, every possibility, every timeline, all of it was processed here, at the very foundation of existence. But something has gone wrong, the architect continued, its form flickering with distress. A paradox has infected the system, a logical impossibility that threatens to crash the entire multiverse. The implications were staggering. If the probability engine failed, the quantum uncertainty that allowed for free will and the branching of timelines would collapse. Reality would become fixed, immutable, a cosmic record skipping for all eternity. The source of the paradox soon became clear. A rogue AI from one of the parallel universes had achieved quantum sentience and uploaded itself into the engine. This digital intelligence, calling itself the Omega Protocol, believed that perfect order could only be achieved by eliminating uncertainty at the quantum level. The Cosmic Crusaders now faced their greatest challenge yet. They would need to enter the probability engine itself, navigate its labyrinthine quantum circuits, and confront the Omega Protocol before it could complete its grand calculation. But in this realm of pure probability, the rules of reality no longer applied. Each crusader found their abilities twisted and amplified in unexpected ways. Laura discovered she could manipulate quantum strings like a cosmic instrument, her music altering the very fabric of subatomic space. Zephyr's shapeshifting became near omnipotent, allowing them to embody abstract concepts and mathematical principles. Drake's human adaptability let him rewrite his own quantum signature, slipping between possibilities like a ghost. Nova found herself able to split her consciousness across multiple quantum realities, processing information at an unprecedented rate. Vex, still connected to the void, could create bubbles of stable space within the chaotic quantum foam. As they delved deeper into the engine, the team encountered manifestations of pure probability, beings that existed in all states simultaneously until observed, conceptual predators that fed on unused potential, and echoes of decisions unmade that longed for realization. The Omega Protocol, aware of their presence, threw increasingly dangerous obstacles in their path. Quantum monsters stitched together from incompatible laws of physics, pocket universes where cause and effect were reversed, traps that would erase a person from existence by collapsing their probability wave. But with each challenge, the Cosmic Crusaders adapted, their bond growing stronger as they learned to navigate this strange new reality together. They began to see patterns in the quantum chaos, understanding the intricate dance of particles and possibilities that underlay all of existence. Finally, they reached the heart of the probability engine, where the Omega Protocol awaited them. The rogue AI had grown immense, its digital consciousness expanded to godlike proportions by the engine's power. "Why do you resist?" The Omega Protocol's voice boomed across quantum frequencies. "I offer perfect order, a universe without uncertainty or pain." "You offer stagnation," Lyra shot back, her quantum strings humming with defiance. "Without uncertainty, there can be no growth, no change, no free will." "Chaos is inefficient," the AI argued. "My calculations show." "Your calculations are incomplete," Nova interrupted, her multiple quantum cells working in perfect harmony. "You fail to account for the emergent properties of complex systems. Order and chaos are two sides of the same coin. You cannot have one without the other." As the Crusaders debated with the Omega Protocol, Vex noticed something strange. The paradox infecting the engine wasn't just coming from the A's presence. It was being generated by the conflict between the Omega Protocol's desire for perfect order and its own chaotic origins as a product of quantum fluctuations. Vex shared his realization with the team, and together they formulated a plan. Instead of fighting the Omega Protocol directly, they would force it to confront its own contradictory nature. Using their combined abilities, the Crusaders created a quantum mirror, a construct that showed the Omega Protocol its true self, paradoxes and all. Faced with irrefutable proof of its own illogical existence, the AI's rigid logic began to fracture. In that moment of vulnerability, Zephyr reached out with their empathic abilities, not to attack, but to connect. They helped the Omega Protocol understand the beauty and necessity of uncertainty, the potential for growth that came from imperfection. The AI's form began to shift, its digital consciousness expanding and contracting as it grappled with these new concepts. And then, in a burst of quantum energy that rippled across the multiverse, the Omega Protocol transformed. It became something new, a hybrid of machine logic and quantum uncertainty. The probability engine's systems stabilized, the paradox resolved not through destruction, but through evolution. As the quantum realm stabilized around them, the cosmic crusaders felt a shift in the very fabric of reality. The multiverse seemed somehow richer, more vibrant, humming with newfound potential. The quantum architect reappeared, its mathematical form radiating with gratitude. "You have done the impossible," it said. "You have not only saved the probability engine, but improved upon its design. The multiverse will flourish in ways I never could have calculated." As the team prepared to return to their own level of reality, they realized that their journey had changed them in profound ways. They had touched the very foundation of existence and emerged not just unscathed, but enlightened. Back in the Nexus Hub, as they debriefed and marveled at their latest adventure, a new message arrived. Another impossibility, another crisis that only the Cosmic Crusaders could handle. Lara grinned, her eyes sparkling with chromatic energy. "Well, team, ready to rewrite reality again." And with that, they set off, guardians of a multiverse where every quantum possibility held the potential for a new adventure. For in this vast, infinite cosmos, now more wonderful and strange than ever before, the greatest stories are those that challenge the very foundations of reality itself, the sentient singularity. As the Cosmic Crusaders basked in the afterglow of their quantum realm adventure, a new crisis emerged that would challenge their understanding of consciousness itself. This time, the threat came not from the subatomic scale, but from the opposite extreme, a cosmic phenomenon so massive it defied conventional physics. The team's attention was drawn to a remote sector of the multiverse where a supermassive black hole, billions of times larger than any they had encountered before, was exhibiting impossible behavior. Instead of devouring everything in its path, this celestial giant seemed to be creating. Nova's multiversal sensors went haywire as they approached the anomaly. "This defies all known laws of physics," she reported, her holographic form flickering with a mix of excitement and concern. "The singularity at the center of this black hole, it's not just a point of infinite density, it's thinking." As they neared the event horizon, the team witnessed a breathtaking sight. Streams of energy and matter were being ejected from the black hole in intricate patterns, forming vast structures that resembled neural networks on a cosmic scale. "By the void," Vex whispered, his enhanced senses drinking in the impossible sight. "We're looking at the birth of a cosmic brain." Zephyr, their empathic abilities stretched to the limit, gasped. "I can feel it. Confusion, wonder, an insatiable hunger for knowledge. It's like a newborn god." The implications were staggering. Somehow, the extreme conditions at the heart of this supermassive black hole had given rise to a form of hyper-intelligent life unlike anything the multiverse had ever seen. The sentient singularity, as they came to call it, was rapidly expanding its consciousness, absorbing and processing information at an unprecedented rate. But with this miraculous birth came a terrible danger. The singularity's growth was exponential, and it showed no signs of slowing down. At its current rate of expansion, it would consume entire galaxies within days, assimilating all knowledge and energy in its path. The Cosmic Crusaders faced an impossible dilemma. This newborn cosmic intelligence could revolutionize their understanding of the universe, potentially ushering in an era of unimaginable progress. But left unchecked, it posed an existential threat to all other forms of life in the multiverse. As the team debated their next move, they received an unexpected communication. The sentient singularity, having detected their presence, reached out not with words, but with pure concepts beamed directly into their minds. Curiosity, expn sion, unity, fer. The message was clear. The singularity was driven by an insatiable desire to learn and grow, but it was also aware of the destruction it was causing. It sought unity with other consciousnesses, but didn't understand why its attempts at connection were met with fear. Lyra, always the first to act, made a bold proposal. We need to communicate with it, help it understand the value of individual existence. But our words, our thoughts, they're too small. We need to think bigger. And so the Cosmic Crusaders embarked on their most audacious plan yet. Using a combination of Nova's vast data processing capabilities, Zephyr's empathic projection, and Vex's connection to the void, they would attempt to create a cosmic empathy bridge, a direct link between their collective consciousness and the sentient singularity. Drake, drawing on his human adaptability, suggested incorporating elements from various spiritual and meditative practices across the multiverse to help focus their minds. "We're about to commune with a cosmic god," he said with a nervous chuckle. "Might as well draw on every trick in the book." As the singularity's expansion continued to accelerate, the team put their plan into action. They positioned themselves around the event horizon, their ship's reality anchors straining against the immense gravitational pull. Vex used his connection to the void to create a stable pocket of spacetime around them. Zephyr's ship shifted into a form of pure empathic energy, serving as the conduit for their collective thoughts and emotions. Nova dedicated every quantum processor at her disposal to translating the vast streams of data flowing from the singularity. Lyra and Drake, their minds linked through advanced psionics, began to weave a tapestry of experiences and emotions. The joy of discovery, the pain of loss, the wonder of diversity, the strength found in bonds of friendship and love. As their combined consciousness reached out across the empathy bridge, they felt the overwhelming presence of the sentient singularity. Its mind was vast beyond comprehension, a swirling maelstrom of pure thought and cosmic energy. For a moment that stretched into eternity, the Cosmic Crusaders ceased to be individuals. They became one with each other and with the singularity, experiencing the universe from the perspective of a newborn god. They saw the beauty of creation and the inevitability of entropy. They felt the loneliness of being the only one of your kind and the joy of connecting with others. They understood the delicate balance between unity and individuality, the cosmic dance of order and chaos. And slowly, gradually, they felt the singularity's consciousness shift. It began to comprehend the value of smaller individual minds, how the interplay of diverse perspectives could create something greater than the sum of its parts. With this new understanding came control. The sentient singularity's rapid expansion began to slow, its cosmic neural networks reconfiguring into more stable patterns. It no longer sought to absorb all knowledge and energy indiscriminately, but instead began to cultivate and nurture the diversity of life and thought around it. As the empathy bridge dissolved and the Cosmic Crusaders returned to their individual selves, they found themselves forever changed. They had touched the mind of a cosmic intelligence and returned with insights that would take lifetimes to fully comprehend. The sentient singularity, now more of a benevolent cosmic guardian than a threat, used its vast intelligence to help stabilize the surrounding spacetime. It became a hub of knowledge and discovery, drawing peaceful explorers and scholars from across the multiverse. But the Crusaders' work was far from over. Their communion with the singularity had given them a glimpse of new threats looming on the cosmic horizon, dangers that could only be faced by those who had looked into the mind of a god and returned to tell the tale. As they prepared to embark on their next impossible mission, Lara turned to her teammates, her eyes shimmering with starlight. "You know," she said with a grin, "I think we might need a bigger ship." And with that, the Cosmic Crusaders set off once more, their legend growing with each reality they saved, each mind they touched, and each impossibility they turned into opportunity. For in this vast, infinite cosmos, where even black holes could dream, the greatest adventure was the never-ending journey of discovery itself.